Rosen. People love him. I mean, you want to teach your kid how to throw a football. You let him watch Josh Rosen.
Taking my glasses off for this one because we're in my wheelhouse now.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I'm more comparable to Josh Allen at this point.
Rosen is so good.
Classic
Mechanically, so good.
You don't have to do... If there was the other end of the spectrum of Josh Allen, as far as mechanics.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Darnold and Allen are over there. Rosen's just... You don't have to touch his throwing motion at all. But now the questions that come in about him are dedication and durability.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's got a knee injury coming. He's coming in, with the legs already damaged.
Concussions, man.
Well, didn't he have an ACL tear?
I think he had. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Those things.
I thought he came in.
Unless it's a receiver, corner, or running back with an ACL, I never care about it. Quarterbacks don't matter.
What? What do you mean quarterbacks don't matter? I mean, true. Honestly, when was the last time we saw a quarterback, get drafted in the top 2 and lose his career to a horrific knee injury?
Did you just drop RG3 in my car?
One of the best Twitter follows there is. He is great. He is great. But that's...
what about in 2008?
Rosen isn't the style of quarterback that RG3 was. He's not going to be used in the same capacity. This is not really a fair comparison. But.
No, I think a fair comparison is... And I'm not comparing him to this guy. I'm just going by the injury report, the example you gave. 2008, Brady suffers an ACL tear. Mm-hmm. He's been playing for 10 years since.
Yeah.
So and he moves about 6 feet.
Yeah, but we've already deemed that Brady has a deal with the devil. Everything with Brady is off the table.
The devil's his head coach. But so we're in agreement that Rosen's, you don't have to touch him mechanically, but and by many scouts, most NFL ready right now. Would not.
He could start.
Would not be shocked if he went 2 or 1 or in the top 5. I really wouldn't be shocked that he went to any of those teams because he can come in right now. Obviously, there would be a learning curve. My thing with Rosen is he going to go to a system that will keep him upright for a couple of years to learn more about the NFL game? Because when you worry about durability issues with a guy, are they drafting Sam Bradford, who's an still gets a job in the NFL? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though the guy's like Glass Joe and Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Absolutely is.
I can't. But that's the thing. Can he stay on the field? Do we have a line right now and pieces around him to keep that guy upright? Because if we do, he could be successful for us.
It's tough to say with a new OC. If the blocking concepts are going to keep him safe or not. I can't.
New OC in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Shermer. Jets have the...
I would trust Shermer.
Jets still have Rodgers. No, I'm sorry. Rodgers is the D coordinator. The quarterback coach, who was last year, name escapes me right now. I'll put it right here. He's the offensive coordinator for the Jets right now.
I would trust Shermer. Although he got Sam Bradford murdered last year. I would trust Shermer.
Why? Because he put him on the field? Yeah. I have a question for you, real quick. In my stupidity of research yesterday, is there any comparables from Rosen to Jay Cutler? Any crossover? I'm not trying to compare. I'm asking you, do you see any crossover between those guys?
No, but okay. I get why you think that, because Cutler never was seen as taking the job too seriously, and
in my defense, I tried to retire.
I love that line. I'll put the meme up.
But no, The only reason I say it is because the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets right now, he's been offensive coordinator once before, 2010 with the Seahawks, where he had to work with Matt Hasselbeck. It was the only time, but he's been a quarterback coach and offensive quality control guy. 2 times, more specifically, he worked with the Bears and the Broncos, both with Cutler. So that's the most of his experience as an offensive guy has been with Jay Cutler. So if you see any crossover, either he'll really want Rosen or he really won't want Rosen.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's what's getting me is, to me, when I watch Rosen versus Darnold, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Rosen's the better prospect. But why isn't Rosen the slam dunk number 1 pick that we're hearing everywhere, right?
The Browns probably don't want you to think that.
Maybe, right? But don't you think all the draft analysts would be able to, I don't know, get the first pick right? I mean, that's... And everybody's got Darnold 1 for the most
picked
part.
Leaf over Manning,
Yeah.
Who really gets it right? They're all weathermen by the time the draft shows up.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, no, it's zero accountability.
This is the team's need. This was what we feel is the best player there. That's who they're going to go with. You think, even though you're very high on Rosen, I'm higher than you are on him, you still like Mayfield.
Yeah.
And we'll get to him. But my point is, that's who you like. If he goes 20th, that doesn't mean you were wrong. That just means that the other teams that came through after the quarterback needy teams didn't feel like he was their guy for their system.
Sure.
That's fine.
Sure. Well, and I guess Rosen is interesting to me because when you watch what his tendencies are, I don't see a guy who's going to struggle to fit in a system. And I think that's what happens a lot, right? And you mentioned this on the phone the other night. I think it's a great topic. Maybe it's a topic for another day. But when you get drafted, right, you have to fit the system that they're running.
Absolutely.
Right?
That determines your success in the NFL.
We'll use Russell Wilson as an example, right?
Yeah.
He had to fit in Seattle to win the job. He did. Now Russell Wilson gets systems designed for him. Right,
Okay.
because he established himself as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, right? He's an effective top 10 quarterback. So you already understand what he is. You can maximize his strengths. But when you're coming into the NFL, you need to fit whatever system they're doing. And that's what's going to make you successful or a failure. That's it, right? If the system can give you time to pick it up and then they can start designing systems for you, it takes 2 or 3 years to be able to establish that kind of reputation or rapport, right? So, do you think Rosen is somebody that, in a short amount of time, they will design a system for? Or do you think he's somebody who needs to fit into a system for a few years
To be successful?
Yeah, until they...
He's played in pro style. I think the fact is him more than anybody. What hits rookies the most? What hits rookies the hardest? Picking up the offense and mistakes. He, out of all the 5, we'll put the 5 together, he minimizes mistakes, better than any of those guys. So they don't have to worry about mistakes. The thing about it is, when you're a rookie and you come in, they have a system. Okay, can you play within the system? Yes. Now, depending on, they try to, highlight your strengths, try to hide your weaknesses. Now, within my system, you're my quarterback. You come in my system, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then, after that, either we're going to work on your weaknesses so I can start running those plays that I like, or I'm going to have to design new plays that are more tailored to your strengths.
Right. And
so that's how it works.
Well,
and with Rosen, I don't see that many weaknesses that you're going to have to cover up.
Well, and there's such a short amount of time between the draft and the season that the quarterback has to fit the system first.
Yes.
Right? You can't design a system for a quarterback that quickly. I mean, I suppose you could, but I don't know anybody that would want to run it. Unless you have experience with that style quarterback before, or a quarterback with similar tendencies, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
The only team that could do that is Cleveland right now, or that could have done that, because they already knew they had the number 1 pick. They already knew who they might have taken, and they brought in Todd Haley.
See, but I don't see it that way, because if you have a head coach change, you get an extra week into the season. That week is like gold. If you change coordinators, you don't get that time. So whether you're bringing in a rookie quarterback or not, doesn't matter. When you change head coaches, you're allowed to start your season a week early.
Okay.
You get extra time with the new head coach. which means the players get an extra week with the coordinator. So I think it would be easier to retrofit a system to somebody if you had extra time. I know it's just a week, right?
Yeah.
I know it's early, but the truth is, near the end of that camp, things are going to be pretty productive, right? The more time you can spend together, truthfully, with a good coaching staff, the better.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what we're not seeing with the Bills and A.J. McCarron. They have a new OC, a new quarterback. They don't get any extra time, right? McCarron and Dable aren't even allowed to talk right now. So you go to Cleveland and you draft a QB. You go to the Giants, you draft a QB. We're talking about different situations here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the Giants are going to get extra time.
It's so interesting, though, that, like, if it went Darnold Rosen's more ready but wouldn't start right away. Yet Darnold would be thrown into the fire.